All right, this is Block 6, the Great Depression, Part 4, the 100 Days, with the section beginning the Unemployment Relief Act. The Unemployment Relief Act is relief. It is intended to relieve the sufferings of the American people gripped in unemployment. Unemployment is one of the worst things for a country. Not only does it destroy the economy, but it also destroys people. That for people to be, spiritually and psychologically and emotionally fulfilled and to be good citizens, they have to be productive. And in 1933, at the height of the Depression, when Roosevelt became president, almost a quarter of the American people were out of work. The Unemployment Relief Act does two things. First, it supplies welfare checks, support checks to unemployed people so they can survive and buy food and pay their rent. But the other thing that it does, kind of more far, both of them are revolutionary in a sense, that the just federal government directly handing out some citizens' money to other citizens through a transfer payment, take tax dollars and then redistribute it to individual citizens in need, was the first time this had ever happened in the American government, the federal government, the national government. And the second thing was the creation of the Civilian Conservation Corps, or the CCC. And what the CCC did, now the CCC was created by the Unemployment Relief Act. And what this bill did, what this program did, is it provided manual labor jobs to young unemployed men, doing environmental work, reforestation, swamp drainage, flood control, firefighting, anything that you can think of, clearing land, clearing brush. It would take unemployed young men and it would ship them off to where these sites were. You get a sense of it from the picture. Here's a camp, and the young men, from 18 to 24, 18 to 28, lived in military-style barracks. Here you can tell they're living in tents, out in the wilderness, and they go forth every day to, build structures, cut roads, clear swamps, drain rivers, you name it, in order to improve the physical infrastructure of the country. These young men did not get to keep the money they earned. They were required to send most of it home to their families. Critics looked at it and said, you're recreating the Hitler Youth. You are taking American young citizens, you are forcing them to live in military barracks with military-style discipline, you are keeping their money away from them, all for what is the purpose of this? What economic good is happening by building a visitor center in the national park somewhere in Montana? That was critics' response. And of course, Roosevelt and his backers' response was, work is work, we're improving the country, we are psychologically doing good things for these, these young men who are otherwise unemployed. And in the end, it did provide work for hundreds of thousands of unemployed men, and it did provide all of the benefits that work gives, and it did provide the physical improvements that the CCC did. So this was one of the earliest and most effective and biggest of the New Deal programs, the Civilian Conservation Corps, the CCC.